All right, let's jump right in. We're about to look at some of the world's oldest jobs. Cooks, carpenters, tailors, but in a way you've probably never thought about them before. Because hidden inside these ancient crafts is a blueprint, a kind of lost secret for innovation that we might just need for our future.
Okay, let me ask you a super simple question. What's the word for someone who takes a bunch of ingredients and turns them into a meal? Seems obvious, right? Just hang on to whatever answer popped into your head.
Because you see, in a language like Japanese, there's no single, simple answer. There's a word for an everyday cook, another for a professional, one for a high-end chef, and even one for a nutritionist. And this isn't just a language lesson. It tells us that even a job we think is simple has all these different layers, these different roles packed inside of it.
Okay, let's try another one. Someone who takes a raw piece of wood and makes something out of it, like a house or maybe a chair. What do we call that person?
Yep, and you have guessed it, it's the same thing all over again. There's the carpenter, the woodworker, the architect who draws up the plans, and the master builder who runs the whole show. It's a huge reminder that these jobs were never just one simple thing.
So why are we nerding out about old job titles? Because buried in these words is a really powerful idea. A new way of thinking about the skills that are going to be absolutely crucial for the future.
But to get there, first we have to look at how we build things today. In our modern world, we tend to split the whole process into two very separate camps.
So on one side, you've got the designer. These are the what and why people. They're all about the vision, the look, the feel, the user experience. Then on the other side, you've got the engineer. They're the how people. They figure out the materials, the physics, the structure to actually make the designer's dream happen. They're in two different worlds, right? Two totally separate mindsets. But here's the kicker. That split? It's actually a pretty new idea. And to really see why, we need to go back and look at those original innovators, the artisans themselves. And this brings us to the big question, the one that changes everything. What if that carpenter, that cook, that tailor, what if they were never just a designer or an engineer? What if they were both at the exact same time?
Let's make this real. Think about a traditional sake brewer. First, they put on their designer hat. They imagine the perfect flavor, the exact aroma, how it's going to feel to drink. That's the what. Then, instantly, they switch to being an engineer. They're controlling temperatures, choosing specific yeasts, managing this incredibly complex biological and chemical reaction to get to that vision. It's not one then the other. They are designing an experience and engineering a process all in one go.
And that's the big reveal, right there. If we use our modern words to describe what they did, a traditional artisan is a designer and an engineer, all rolled into one person. They never saw a difference between the two.
And believe me, this isn't some one-off example with sake. This idea of an integrated skill set, it's a universal principle. You see it in almost every single traditional craft. I mean, just think about it. A blacksmith? That's a materials engineer, designing a tool while engineering the metal's properties with fire and force. A tailor is a textile engineer, understanding how fabric moves and stretches to design the perfect fit. A watchmaker is a micromechanical engineer, and a plasterer is basically a chemical engineer, designing a finish and engineering the mixture to make it last.
Okay, so this is a really cool way to look at history for sure, but why does it matter right now, today? Well, because the huge, messy problems we're facing in the future, they demand exactly this kind of thinking.
Let's take a massive modern challenge, like making the fashion industry sustainable. Right now, we often have designers working over here and material scientists inventing new fabrics way over there. But the timeless solution is to think like a master tailor. It's someone who understands the new, sustainable material inside and out, and at the same time designs a piece of clothing that's not just beautiful, but also built to last, with almost no waste. They combine the what and the how perfectly.
Or how about another cutting-edge field? Building tiny, super precise medical devices that can work inside the human body.
Well, the answer has been sitting there for hundreds of years. The watchmaker. The skill to put microscopic parts together with human intuition and feel. That's something even our most advanced robots can't really do. It's the ultimate blend of tiny engineering and practical design.
So what's the big takeaway here? What does this mean for the jobs of tomorrow? It means we can actually draw a direct line from these ancient roles to our most urgent future needs.
Just check out this map for a second. The cook's skill set, that's essential for food security and health. They become a designer of nutrition.
The carpenter's knowledge? It's the key to sustainable architecture. The brewer's expertise lines up perfectly with biotech. The tailor, the watchmaker, they're ready for high-tech materials and micromachines. The common thread is they all know how to connect the material, the design, and the final function.
So let's nail this down. A designer engineer is someone who gets their materials on a deep, almost intuitive level. They design what they want to create, and then they personally engineer the entire process to get there. For them, how it looks and how it works are the exact same thing. And this, right here, is probably the most important thing to remember. We have this idea that these are dying arts, that they're just nostalgic hobbies. They're not. They are the foundational skills, the building blocks for the next wave of real innovation.
So, as we look ahead, the real challenge isn't just about what new jobs we'll invent. It's about recognizing the incredible power in these old ones. The future needs people who can connect the vision and the reality, the people who can both design and build. The only question left is, are you one of them?